They asked for Houston. They got Houston.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because the Martin Maldonado era of Houston Astros baseball happened. Oh, man. That was tough news to see last night. Because the Astros are losing one of the greatest minds in baseball history. The Bill Belichick of defense. A man who hasn't just caught one or two or three no-hitters. A man who caught a perfect game as well. But Martin Maldonado's time with the Houston Astros, guys, it's over. Because guess what happened yesterday? Per Chandler Rome, the Astros are in agreement on a contract with free agent catcher Victor Caratini. He's 30. He's a switch hitter. He could add some depth at first base on days he doesn't catch. And per Chandler Rome, the impending signing of Victor Caratini is going to end Martin Maldonado's tenure with the team. He's drawing interest from the Red Sox, the Padres, the Marlins, and the White Sox. I'm bummed out. Look, it's not a coincidence that he caught no-hitters in 2019 and 2022 and in 2023. And that he caught a perfect game for Puerto Rico in this year's World Baseball Classic. There's something to it. Now, maybe you want him to bat higher than 103, but that is actually a guy that I think the Houston Astros might miss a bit. And I think Sean Mapes and I were on the same page last night when we were thinking about the greatest movie of all time, Fast and Furious 7. We're at the very end. Vin Diesel says goodbye to his brother, Paul Walker. The characters, of course, Dom Toretto and Brian O'Connor, but the legend never ends. And you just play this little music in the background, and maybe a tear slowly rolls down your face. That's where I'm at today. It's been a long day without you, my friend. I guess it's not even been a day. It's only been 8 hours. I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. So pour one out for Martin Maldonado. Remember, he said they asked for Houston, they got Houston. Then he did a speech saying the exact same thing a little bit later. Also, remember his Ronald McDonald Donato era, when he had the orange hair? It's a man who put on for the age. Some of you guys were really disrespectful to him, just like you were disrespectful to Dusty Baker. But now we move on, Sean. And how are you feeling today? I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit crestfallen.
Yeah, I just, you never know how much you're gonna miss something until the door is actually closed and it's gone. And like you said, first it was Dusty Baker. Now it's Martin Maldonado. Paul, I don't know what we're going to talk about in June. I don't know what we're going to do.
That's why we're really bummed out.
I don't know what are we going to, what's going to be the low-hanging fruit on this Astros team?
Well,
is it just going to be like Kyle Tucker stuff or like Alex Bregman? Extend him now every time he hits a home run and every time he goes 0 for 4. Oh, see, this is why we're letting him walk.
Well, write that down so we can come back to it.
Okay.
But
we still have all the pay the man stuff from Carlos Correa here.
That's true. Listen, we go back to the well for a lot. Because our baseball talk, we admit it, it's very, very basic. But we do it, and we do it a lot. But Sean, we touched on it yesterday. We have it. We have it right in front of us. The daily Dusty Baker lineup questioning, it's going to be back because Dana Brown said yesterday that Jake Myers will get a chance to establish himself as the everyday center fielder early in the season. We heard that from Joe Espada the day before, new manager of the Astros. Good news is that doesn't mean that Chas McCormick isn't going to play. He's going to get most of the time in left field. But the Astros have this weird love of Jake Myers. And then a piece that Chandler Rome put out there in The Athletic, opponents noticed Jake Myers' omission, writes Rome, on the Houston Astros American League Championship Series roster and arrived at a reasonable conclusion. Rival executives flooded Dana Brown's phone this winter in hopes Houston would part with a defensively gifted center fielder who hasn't found any offensive continuity. Pause for a moment. They're flooding Dana Brown's phone over Jake Myers. Said Brown about Jake Myers, guys thought maybe we were down on him. But when you're in the Final Four, your team is pretty good. So when you have to make these tough roster decisions at the end of the day, some guys are going to get left off. But I think Myers is good enough to play every day. It's just a matter of, is he going to swing the bat enough to play every day? Perhaps a basic and obvious baseball take, but I don't know. Much like I thought Chas McCormick in the postseason last year earned a daily playing spot going into last season, don't we think that Mauricio Dubon should be more than a super utility guy? Shouldn't he be your center fielder on a almost daily basis? And you could put Jake Myers in occasionally. I don't have a problem necessarily with him being on the roster, but Dubon won a Gold Glove, and Dubon was one of your more consistent hitters, not just in the regular season last year, but in the postseason. So just a thought from the baseball basic himself, Paul Gallant, but I don't know. Maybe it should be Mauricio Dubon as the starting center fielder going into the year. And he can be a super utility from time to time still. But Jake Myers, we're doing this again. And people thought this was a Dusty thing, didn't they? Didn't they think that the love of Jake Myers versus what, Miles Straw? Wasn't that a thing when I was in Seattle? I feel like I used to see that on the timeline occasionally.
Well, it was that the Astros basically traded Miles Straw for Phil Maton just so Dusty Baker would stop playing Miles Straw.
Oh.
That was the...
Well, hang on. Okay, fair enough. Maybe there were some real things you could nitpick with Dusty Baker. I just felt people did it a little bit too much. I mean, you made the man retire, you mean Twitterozzies. But, look, I have a question about the Astros going forward, and we've asked this question a couple of times before. I think we're always going to ask the question, do you trust him going forward? It's not just Jim Crane. It's also Dana Brown, who said, quote, I feel something good could happen before we leave here, at least by Thursday, maybe. I don't know what that means. It does sound like they're at least willing to go over the collective, the luxury tax threshold so that they could potentially add a backup catcher. I guess they're going to pay, sorry, this name is eluding me off the top of my head.
Victor Caratini.
Caratini, yes. Victor Caratini. They're going to give him, I guess, $6 million a year or so. Feels like that's a lot. Just a thought. If we're talking about a backup catcher, although I guess Martin Maldonado, what was he making? He was making $10 million a year. But anyway, if they're willing to spend more money, I am curious as to what they're going to do. But I don't think they're going to do anything that's really much of a splash, as Dana Brown's kind of hinting there. And I can't help it, but Sean, there was a guest that was on Soccer Matters last night with Glenn Davis. And I just can't help but wonder why this guy isn't back here. I just can't help but wonder.
You know, we had to make a decision in the last half hour of the window, a major decision, whether to bring Miguel de la Fuente to Leganés or not. And it was going to be a costly decision if it was wrong. Now, he's now leading our team in goals, and he's one of the reasons we're in first place. January is the same thing. You know, you have to have the information, but you have to have it available to you at a time when you can make the decisions. And then you need to figure out how to balance How much do I weigh the sporting opinion versus the psychologist versus the doctor's opinion versus the coach's desire? All of that.
I just went galaxy brain. Oh, I'm back. That guy sounded smart. Oh, that guy was Jeff Luhnow. Jeff Luhnow was on a soccer show last night. Free the man. You think he wants to be doing that Euro stuff? No offense to Glenn. Do you think he wants to be doing that? You know he wants to be talking about the Astros again, and he wants to be running the Astros again. This poor guy's running 2 soccer teams to feed his family. 2, not 1, 2. He's probably doing a great job with both of them. He's running 2 teams.
Well, they just signed a guy who no one wanted, and now he's leading the team in goals.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Are you serious, Sean?
Yeah, that's... It's like how he taught Dallas Keuchel how to pitch.
That is true. People do forget about that. I mean, listen, I have... He's so much smarter than all of us, Jeff Luhnow. Like, when he speaks, it's like the voice of God. You better have headphones on or your eardrums might burst. He is the audio equivalent right there of the burning bush. And I just miss Jeff. You know, I did create a church for Jeff Luhnow, the Church of Jeff Luhnow. I'm the high tradesman of it. And hearing Luhnow while driving around on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5 just makes me miss him. And this is nothing against Dana Brown either. I mean, we really only have a year to go off of him. Not much in terms of the decisions he's made. He just makes a lot of seeming promises that are going to be hard to deliver on. But I hear Jeff, and I'm just like, I want Jeff. Bring me Jeff.
Yeah, it's just like no one could live up to Jeff Luhnow. Like no GM. I mean, they had a GM who won a World Series, and they just let him walk. No. because he wasn't Jeff Luhnow. They let James Click go because he just wasn't Jeff Luhnow. He wasn't Jeff. And it's crazy that the Red Sox can bring back Alex Cora, who sucks. Like, he's not even good at his job. Alex Cora's a terrible manager. He gets mad sometimes.
Yeah, I wonder why he gets mad sometimes based off of some write-ups about him back in the day. And Jeff Luhnow can't even come back into baseball. Meanwhile, he's got like 5 teams in soccer that he's managing so that he can feed his family. Jeff Luhnow's gone from managing the Houston Astros, the World Series champion, to managing 12 soccer teams in Serbia, right? Spain, same thing. It doesn't matter. He's managing 26 soccer teams right now, and like, it's just a shame. It's just a shame.
And they're all winning their division.
Right.
They're all winning the league.
All 43
and
of the soccer teams
cup.
He's running. Yeah. They've all won. Jeff Luhnow has 52 trophies from this year for the 112 teams he's running so he can feed his family. The man is working hard. Bring him home.